So why does an atom or a molecule not emit every possible color of light, or why can't it absorb every possible color of light? Well, the explanation for this phenomenon was provided by Niels Bohr, a Danish physicist, Niels Bohr. And basically what he said is that the energy of atoms and molecules, okay, is quantized or restricted. So when we say quantized, we mean restricted. It cannot just have any value. So the energy of a photon, or absorbed or released, okay, by an atom or molecule, must match the difference between the allowed energy levels for that atom or molecule. Okay, so there's restrictions. Since there are restrictions for the energies of the atom or molecule, so the energies E upper here and E lower, there are restrictions on what these values can be, then there must be restrictions on what possible values of the photon energy can have. So if there are restrictions in the energies of the photon, since we know energy of a photon is equal to h nu, or hc over lambda, okay, h, if you recall, is Planck's constant, c is speed of light, lambda is the wavelength, okay. Since there are restrictions in the values of E photon, there must also be restrictions in the value of lambda, okay. Thus, we can say atoms and molecules can only produce certain colors of light, certain wavelengths, not every possible wavelength. But this brings up the question, how do we explain continuous spectra? Well, if you recall, continuous spectra happens whenever you have a high concentration of atoms, okay? You have atoms very close by, and that happens, when that happens, what happens is you have a lot of allowed energies that are closely spaced allowed energy levels. Okay, so these are cases where you're dealing with very closely spaced and allowed energy levels. Okay, and so there's a lot of allowed wavelengths. So in essence, what essentially happens here is you have overlapping spectral lines, we say. And so you can't tell one line from the next because there's so much overlap, and it looks like it's just a continuous band of colors coming from your sample.